How often do you truly focus on your partner during intimate moments? Many of us get caught up in the physical act, but the emotional and mental connection is just as important. True intimacy is more than just physical pleasure. It's about being emotionally present, engaged, and fully aware of your partner's needs. The lack of attention during these moments can lead to feelings of neglect, loneliness, and even dissatisfaction, not only physically, but emotionally. Your wife or partner desires more than just a moment of physical closeness. She craves your attention, your love, your understanding in a moment that is meant to be shared deeply. This lack of focus can lead to misunderstandings and emotional distance between partners, slowly eroding the emotional foundation of your relationship. It's crucial to remember that intimacy isn't just about getting it over with, but about connection, trust, and mutual pleasure. When we talk about giving attention during intimacy, it's not just about physical touch or actions, it's about being fully present, both emotionally and physically. Attention means focusing on your partner's needs, both through verbal and nonverbal cues. It's about the little things, maintaining eye contact, speaking tender words, and being attuned to their body language. Emotionally, it means creating a space where your partner feels heard, cherished, and safe to express their desires. This emotional attention enhances the connection, turning intimacy into a shared experience of trust and love, rather than a mere transactional event. Without emotional attention, the experience can feel shallow, disconnected, and one-sided. A common misconception many people hold is that intimacy is only about physical pleasure. This view reduces the experience to mere physical acts, ignoring the deeper emotional bond that should be present. True intimacy requires an emotional connection that goes beyond the physical touch, where both partners feel equally valued and understood. When the focus is solely on physical pleasure, it undermines the intimacy, leaving both partners feeling unfulfilled. Neglecting emotional attention during intimacy can have a significant impact on the relationship. Over time, this can lead to feelings of emotional neglect, resentment, and dissatisfaction. One partner may feel that their needs are ignored, which causes a lack of trust and intimacy in the relationship. Without emotional connection, physical pleasure loses its depth, leaving both partners disconnected and longing for something more. Why attention? During intimacy matters. Emotional presence during intimacy is critical for deepening the bond between partners. Intimacy is about far more than physical proximity. It is a shared experience that requires both partners to be emotionally connected and attuned to each other. When emotional attention is given, it strengthens the trust and security within the relationship, creating a space where both partners feel valued and loved. This presence fosters vulnerability, allowing both individuals to express their desires, needs, and fears without the fear of judgment. When emotional attention is withheld, it creates a barrier between the partners, leading to feelings of isolation. The emotional connection can make the physical act much more meaningful, enhancing the pleasure experienced by both partners. It is this emotional connection that makes intimate moments truly special, as it transforms physical closeness into an emotional experience of love, care, and mutual understanding. Physical sensations are enhanced when emotional attention is prioritized during intimacy. Intimacy is a complex experience that intertwines physical and emotional elements. When partners feel emotionally supported and connected, the physical experience is amplified. Sensations during intimacy become more intense because both partners are present and open to each other's touch. For example, when one partner is emotionally distant, the other may feel disconnected and less engaged in the moment, leading to a reduction in physical pleasure. However, when emotional attention is given, both partners experience heightened physical sensations as they are in tune with each other's movements, needs, and responses. Attention to your partner's body language, facial expressions, and overall comfort creates a deeper understanding and enhances physical pleasure. Simply put, emotional connection enhances physical pleasure by creating a more attuned, responsive environment during intimacy. Mutual satisfaction is crucial in any intimate relationship, and neglecting attention can significantly affect this satisfaction. When one partner is not emotionally engaged, the experience becomes unbalanced. One partner may feel as if their needs are overlooked or unimportant, while the other may be unaware of the disconnect happening. This lack of mutual attention can lead to emotional distance, resentment, and dissatisfaction over time. Intimacy is not just about one person's pleasure, but about sharing a moment of connection, both emotionally and physically. When both partners give and receive attention, the experience becomes fulfilling for both. Neglecting emotional attention may lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and even a breakdown of communication in the relationship. Emotional distance can develop when one partner feels unimportant or ignored, and this can affect other aspects of the relationship, from communication to trust and respect. Statistics and real-life examples highlight how relationships struggle when emotional connection is absent. Research has shown that couples who experience emotional neglect during intimacy are more likely to face relationship challenges, including decreased satisfaction and communication breakdowns. For example, a study published in the Journal of Sex Research found that couples who reported feeling emotionally distant during intimate moments were more likely to experience dissatisfaction in their overall relationship. These couples often experienced lower levels of intimacy, greater feelings of loneliness, and an increased likelihood of seeking emotional fulfillment outside the relationship. The absence of emotional connection does not just affect physical pleasure, it creates a deeper divide between partners. Emotional attention is foundational to a strong, healthy relationship, and when it is missing, couples often struggle to find fulfillment both inside and outside of the bedroom. Attention during intimacy matters not just for physical satisfaction, but for emotional connection and mutual trust. By being emotionally present, both partners can deepen their bond, increase their physical pleasure, and foster a fulfilling relationship. When attention is given, intimacy becomes a shared experience that strengthens the relationship rather than a transactional event. Emotional neglect, on the other hand, leads to emotional distance and dissatisfaction, ultimately harming the connection between partners. The key to intimacy is not just being physically present, but emotionally engaged, which allows both partners to experience the full range of pleasure, connection, and trust. Common mistakes partners make. Distractions are one of the most common reasons why attention during intimacy is often lacking. In today's fast-paced world, stress from work, family, and daily responsibilities often creep into intimate moments, taking mental focus away from the present. When one partner's mind is preoccupied with worries about tomorrow's meeting, household chores, or an incoming email, the emotional connection that should exist during intimacy is compromised. Mental distractions can lead to a lack of awareness about the emotional or physical cues from the partner. In some cases, technology such as phones or gadgets can become an intrusive factor during intimacy. Constant notifications or scrolling through social media can break the flow of emotional and physical connection, leaving the partner feeling neglected or unimportant. These distractions can damage the intimacy of the moment, turning it into a mechanical or disconnected act rather than a shared experience of closeness and vulnerability. Self-centeredness is another common mistake that can prevent true connection during intimacy. It's natural for people to desire physical pleasure, but intimacy should never be one-sided. Sometimes, one partner may focus more on their own pleasure and fail to give attention to their spouse's emotional or physical needs. This selfish approach can create a disconnect, as the partner who feels neglected may start to feel unimportant or disregarded. While physical satisfaction is a valid part of intimacy, the emotional and psychological aspects are just as crucial. When one partner only prioritizes their own desires, the other may feel like their needs are irrelevant, which can lead to frustration, resentment, and dissatisfaction. A balanced approach where both partners are equally invested in each other's pleasure and emotional well-being is vital for maintaining a healthy relationship. In such moments, a lack of attention to one's spouse can result in emotional withdrawal, and over time, this builds an emotional divide. Lack of communication is a critical mistake that many couples make during intimate moments. Communication isn't just about talking, it's about being attentive to each other's needs and desires. When partners don't check in with each other, misunderstandings can arise. A partner may assume that the other is enjoying the experience when, in reality, they feel neglected or unfulfilled. This lack of communication may manifest in the form of nonverbal cues that go unnoticed, or partners may hesitate to voice their dissatisfaction due to fear of hurting their partner's feelings. However, this silent approach only exacerbates the problem. Open, honest communication about desires, boundaries, and needs during intimacy is crucial for maintaining a strong emotional connection. Without it, there can be a buildup of dissatisfaction, which may create frustration and a lack of trust in the relationship. Couples who fail to communicate during intimacy may find themselves drifting apart both emotionally and physically. Unawareness of emotional needs can also lead to significant misunderstandings during intimacy. Often, partners fail to recognize nonverbal cues or emotional signals from their spouse. For example, a partner may be signaling discomfort, dissatisfaction, or even a desire for more affection, but these cues may go unnoticed or ignored. This lack of emotional awareness can create a sense of isolation and frustration in the partner who is not being attended to. Emotional needs aren't always verbalized, and nonverbal communication is often more subtle. Understanding body language, facial expressions, and changes in behavior is key to giving proper attention during intimacy. If a partner doesn't recognize these signals, the emotional bond begins to fray, and the intimacy can feel hollow or forced. Emotional neglect in these situations is particularly damaging, as it can erode the trust and affection that are critical to a healthy relationship. Being mindful of your partner's emotional needs is just as important as meeting their physical desires. The most common mistakes partners make, distractions, self-centeredness, lack of communication, and unawareness of emotional needs, can all significantly damage the emotional and physical connection between spouses. These issues create emotional distance, foster misunderstandings, and prevent the intimacy from being a fulfilling experience for both individuals. For a relationship to thrive, it is essential that both partners are emotionally present, attentive, and actively communicate their needs and desires. By addressing these mistakes and making an effort to remain emotionally aware, couples can strengthen their connection, build trust, and deepen the intimacy they share. How to give better attention. During intimacy, the foundation of truly meaningful intimacy is emotional presence. Being emotionally aware and engaged allows partners to connect on a deeper level beyond the physical act. Emotional presence means being fully attuned to your partner's feelings, desires, and needs in the moment, offering more than just a physical connection. When partners focus on emotionally supporting one another during intimacy, they build a stronger bond and create a safe environment where both individuals feel valued and heard. It's not just about going through the motions. It's about actively participating in your partner's experience, making sure they feel emotionally seen and appreciated. This kind of emotional attention transforms intimacy into an experience that goes beyond fleeting pleasure and instead fosters a lasting connection. When partners are emotionally engaged, they become more attuned to each other's responses, and intimacy becomes an opportunity to strengthen the emotional and psychological aspects of the relationship. So, being present emotionally enhances the experience by deepening the trust and making both partners feel loved and understood during intimate moments. Active listening is another key element to giving better attention during intimacy. While it's often associated with conversations, active listening is just as essential during physical moments of closeness. Active listening means being attentive to not just what your partner says, but also to their body language, tone, and subtle cues. This practice helps you understand your partner's desires and emotional needs, which in turn leads to a more fulfilling, intimate experience for both. Checking in with your partner throughout the experience, asking if they're comfortable, if they want something different, or simply if they're feeling good, fosters a sense of partnership and care. It shows that you value their experience just as much as your own. Regularly engaging in open, compassionate communication during intimacy reduces misunderstandings and creates a space where both partners feel free to express themselves. In doing so, active listening helps nurture a deeper emotional connection, making intimacy not just a physical act, but a shared emotional exchange where both partners are equally involved and aware of each other's needs. Paying attention to physical cues is a crucial component of giving better attention during intimacy. Nonverbal communication can often express more than words ever could. Body language, facial expressions, and subtle movements can give powerful insights into how your partner is feeling, their level of comfort, and what they desire. A slight change in posture or an increase in tension can signal discomfort, excitement, or a desire for more intimacy. By being attentive to these physical cues, you can adjust your actions and responses to create a more harmonious and fulfilling experience. For example, if your partner pulls you closer, it might indicate a desire for more affection. Conversely, if they seem tense or distant, it could signal the need for a slower pace or more reassurance. Being aware of these nonverbal signals ensures that both partners are emotionally and physically in sync, allowing for a more responsive and connected experience. Intimacy is more than just physical touch. It's about reading and responding to each other's needs through both words and actions. And understanding physical cues can make all the difference in creating a satisfying and enjoyable experience for both. Mutual care is the cornerstone of a fulfilling, intimate experience. Both partners should prioritize each other's needs, ensuring that there's a balanced exchange of affection, care, and attention. This reciprocal giving creates a harmonious dynamic where both individuals feel cherished and respected. By prioritizing your wife's needs, emotionally and physically, you demonstrate your commitment to her happiness and well-being. This doesn't mean ignoring your own desires, but rather ensuring that intimacy is a shared experience where both partners contribute to each other's pleasure and comfort. Mutual care also involves being responsive to your partner's emotional state and ensuring that they feel supported throughout the experience. When both partners prioritize each other's needs, it fosters a sense of equality, trust, and love. This dynamic not only strengthens the intimacy itself, but also enriches the overall relationship, ensuring that both partners feel deeply connected, understood, and valued. True intimacy comes when both individuals are committed to giving and receiving equally, and when mutual care is at the heart of the experience, it deepens the bond in ways that are physically, emotionally, and spiritually fulfilling. The benefits of giving attention. Giving attention during intimacy can significantly strengthen the emotional bond between partners, which in turn enhances the overall relationship. Emotional connection is the foundation of trust, and trust is essential for a healthy relationship. When you are emotionally present during intimate moments, it signals to your partner that they are valued, loved, and respected. This presence fosters a deeper sense of connection and vulnerability, allowing both partners to feel safe to express their emotions. Over time, this emotional connection deepens, creating a strong bond of trust and intimacy. Trust is built on consistent actions that show your partner you care for them not just physically, but emotionally as well. By being attentive to your partner's needs, feelings, and desires during intimacy, you show them that they are important to you, which solidifies the emotional connection between you both. The result is a stronger, more resilient relationship where both partners feel supported and understood, making the relationship feel more secure and nurturing over time. Mutual attention leads to greater physical and emotional fulfillment for both partners. When both partners are equally engaged during intimate moments, the experience becomes more fulfilling for everyone involved. Physical pleasure is enhanced when both partners are in tune with each other's needs, desires, and emotional states. This mutual focus creates an environment where both individuals feel seen, heard, and appreciated. As a result, physical intimacy transforms into an experience of shared joy rather than a one-sided exchange. Emotional fulfillment is just as important as physical pleasure. When both partners give attention to each other's emotional needs, it fosters a sense of mutual care, affection, and connection. This leads to a stronger emotional bond, and the relationship becomes a space of ongoing fulfillment rather than one that is emotionally distant or unbalanced. In essence, when attention is given, both partners experience a deeper level of satisfaction, making intimacy a much more rewarding experience that strengthens the relationship on all fronts. Consistent attention during intimacy is also vital for the long-term health of the relationship. A relationship where both partners are consistently attentive to each other's emotional and physical needs is more likely to thrive in the long run. Neglecting attention, on the other hand, can lead to emotional distance and dissatisfaction, which can erode the foundation of the relationship over time. When partners continuously nurture each other's needs, physically, emotionally, and mentally, the relationship becomes stronger, healthier, and more resilient. This kind of attention helps prevent issues like resentment, emotional withdrawal, and miscommunication from arising, as both partners are actively involved in maintaining a deep connection. By consistently giving attention to each other, couples can build a foundation of love, trust, and mutual respect that lasts through the challenges that may come their way. Healthy, lasting relationships are built on a consistent exchange of love, care, and attention, which keeps the emotional connection strong and ensures the relationship's long-term health and success. Let's consider an example of a couple, John and Emily, who had been married for several years. Over time, their intimate moments had become routine and increasingly disconnected. John would often get lost in his own thoughts, while Emily felt emotionally neglected. This lack of emotional attention began to affect their relationship, as Emily started feeling more distant and unimportant. She didn't feel emotionally seen or appreciated, and although the physical aspect of their relationship was still there, it lacked the depth it once had. John, on the other hand, didn't realize that Emily's dissatisfaction stemmed from his emotional disconnection rather than a lack of physical intimacy. The turning point came when John decided to focus more on Emily's emotional needs. He started actively listening to her, engaging more with her during their intimate moments, and paying attention to her nonverbal cues. He would check in with her to see how she was feeling, not just in terms of physical pleasure, but also emotionally. Emily began to notice the difference immediately. She felt more seen, heard, and loved. As a result, their physical connection became more passionate and meaningful, and their emotional bond strengthened. Emily felt safe to express her desires, knowing that John was emotionally engaged. Over time, this focus on mutual emotional and physical fulfillment reignited their relationship, deepening their bond and restoring the intimacy they had once enjoyed. This simple but profound shift in how they approached intimacy helped them rebuild trust, affection, and mutual satisfaction. This change didn't happen overnight, but with consistent effort, both partners noticed significant improvements in their relationship. John's shift in focus allowed Emily to feel more emotionally secure, and she, in turn, began to give more attention to John's needs, both physically and emotionally. The couple's communication improved, and they found that discussing their desires and boundaries openly made their intimate moments even more fulfilling. Instead of feeling disconnected, they began to look forward to spending time together, knowing they were prioritizing each other's emotional well-being. This change wasn't just about improving their sex life. It was about restoring a sense of closeness and partnership that had been missing for so long. John and Emily's story is just one example of how giving attention during intimacy can completely transform a relationship. When both partners are emotionally engaged and focused on each other's needs, it creates a positive feedback loop of care, affection, and trust that strengthens the bond and keeps the relationship healthy over time. In conclusion, giving attention during intimacy is more than just an act, it's an emotional commitment to your partner. By being emotionally present and attuned to your spouse's needs, you create an environment of trust, mutual care, and connection that enhances not only your intimate moments, but your entire relationship. Emotional presence during intimacy fosters a deeper bond, while neglecting this attention can lead to feelings of emotional distance, dissatisfaction, and resentment. It is through active listening, physical attentiveness, and mutual care that both partners can experience a richer, more fulfilling relationship. Whether it's through simple gestures like checking in with your partner, focusing on their body language, or prioritizing their emotional well-being, the small changes you make can have a profound impact on your connection. Relationships are built on consistent efforts to understand and meet each other's needs, and intimacy is no different. When both partners give the attention and care that the other deserves, it creates a lasting, fulfilling partnership that can withstand the tests of time. I encourage you to make the necessary changes in your relationship today. If you recognize any areas where attention may be lacking, take the steps to actively engage with your partner and show them that they are your priority. It's the small moments of care, understanding, and emotional connection that build a strong foundation for a lasting relationship. Take the time to nurture your relationship with attention, emotionally, physically, and mentally. A little effort goes a long way in deepening your connection, enhancing satisfaction, and strengthening your bond. Remember, relationships thrive on attention, care, and love. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who could benefit from this message. Together, we can build stronger, more fulfilling relationships through the power of attentiveness.